Let's go in three, two. Well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. Today is the 4th of November, 2023, and I'm so excited to have each and every one of you here, whether you are watching live with us in the chat or listening to us while you're driving down the road or listening to us later on as a replay, because I know I am on super early, especially if you're not East Coast. And you know, I know a lot of you guys like to sleep on a Saturday morning. That's one of the reasons I'm live at Saturday morning, because the rest of my family likes to sleep in, and it gives me a really good opportunity to come on and hang out with all my quilty friends. So today's guest is a new guest to my channel. It is my friend Donnell from Donnell Stitchery. She is a reasonably new YouTuber. She has about 114 subscribers, and we're hoping to bump that up a little bit today. So why don't you say hi to everybody, Donnell, and just let us know a bit more about yourself, your channel, and the sort of videos that you like to produce.
Hey, Sean. So, yeah, my name's Donnell. I'm with Donnell Stitchery. I like to make a bunch of different types of items, from a bunch of small crafts like keychains, scrunchies, fuzzy kitten socks, or fuzzy sock kittens. Sorry, it's early. Bowl cozies, which I'll be doing a tutorial on today on my channel at 11 a.m. And then I also make like quilts and wall hangings, like this one here behind me that I made from a pattern that was written by Becca. So other than that, yeah, I just love sewing and talking with people the same mindset and showing people that don't know how to do certain things or have questions of how to do things, helping them along the way.
And that's awesome. And I love the variety of items that you do. And as you said earlier, and I was going to talk about this a little bit more in just a little bit, but you will be going live later on at 11 a.m. And that's in Central Time, correct? Because you're in Michigan. Eastern. Okay, so it is Eastern. Okay, all right. So, see, I'm getting confused. So, but let's see who is here with us. It looks like we have a good number of my friends here. It looks like my friend Sean from the Moldy Lasagna is here. He said he had to go to work, but he's got to hang out and listen to us. He just won't be able to chat with us. It's always good to hear from my mate Sean, and I always remember his name because it's super easy for me. Nancy Gus is here with us, along with Linda Parsons. My mate Stephen from Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter says he's going to be here listening, but he's busy working on the Forest Club collab, which is the collab that I'm actually working on with him, Shannon, and Stephanie from Stephanie Stitches, where we're all doing different patterns, and that's what I'll be working on today. I've already done a couple of these already, which is the strawberry and the bee, which I think I did, was it last week or the week before? I
I
can't remember.
love that bee block. That was so cute.
Yeah, that one was fun. And this is probably my favorite so far. Whoops.
Aww.
The little piggy. And this is what we did last week, was the cow. Whoops. I'm not having a good day. My first cup of coffee has not sunk in yet, apparently. So
It's okay.
today we're going to work on the goat block.
Oh, my vote for the horse is spelled.
Okay, so yeah, we had some fun on Becca's live last night because I had to run off and start cutting stuff, and I asked everybody which block we should do, whether it should be the horse, the goat, the chicken, or whatever the other one was.
The other was.
And the votes ended up being pretty similar. Like, we had several votes for each, and the reason I picked the goat is because it had less pieces to cut.
I don't blame you. I went back and forth on like 4 different projects last night. Which one I was going to do today. I wanted to go in with one that wasn't even on the list.
That's all right. I almost did I wanted to do the horse. I thought it'd be a lot of fun because the strawberry actually is inset into the horse. But yeah, I looked at the cutting instructions for that, and I was like, I'm going to be up until 1 o'clock in the morning cutting for that. So that'll have to be a project for next week or something else like that. So, but we're going to have some fun with making the horse. We're going to hopefully do it without bringing out my very, very bestest friend. But, you know, I make no promises. All right, so who else is here? We're getting distracted, but that's okay.
Have Fallon from Soviet Quilts in here.
Yes, my mate Fallon is here. It's always good to have her with us. I'm a big fan of hers. And if you haven't checked out her channel, it's !Fallon. And she has some of the neatest products as well, like her twist lock rulers, the slide lock ruler, which is all I ever use myself these days for cutting yardage. That thing is absolutely fantastic because, like, you just stick it down and it does not move. I've got a video on that you can go check out if you don't know what I'm talking about. I just absolutely love her products. So and my see, I have everything at Fallon's, I think, except for this. I have to go get those twist lock things. I have not purchased those yet, but that's on.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
unfortunately,
my
I have not ordered anything of hers yet, but I plan on it. I just haven't had the funding to.
yeah, like the twist lock rulers. I think it's I'm impossible to buy for Christmas, and it's only like I'm not going to say how many weeks away because someone's going to hurt me. But I might put that on my Christmas list. My mother-in-law is always asking me, "What do you want for Christmas?" And so I'm just going to say, "Look, go over here and order these." So I think that'll be a fun thing. It looks like Jeannie is here with us. Katie Crafts, Melissa Feldhouse is here. Good morning. This is good to see you. I know a lot of times she's off doing her long runs in the morning and doesn't always hang out with us, but it's always good to see her. I'm going to butcher this name, unfortunately, most likely. Moran Irwin from Northern Ireland. I love it when we see people from Europe and other countries as well hanging out with us. Donna Dixon is here with us from Alabama, and my chat just moved. Kathleen Champ is here with us from California. Jean Roher, Missy Miller, Lisa from the Awkward Quilter is here with us. It's always good to see her. Quilting Color and Gloria Carlson is here with us. Let's see. Leslie G is here from Richmond, Virginia. Oh, she's just up the road from me. That's really cool. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Jenny Vincent, I think I said, oh, she's from Oregon. Wow, we got a lot of West Coasters hanging out with us this morning. So
Wow.
I must be doing something right if someone is willing to get up and hang out with us at 5 o'clock, even if they're just like rolled out of bed and watching, on their site. My mate, Eric, was it Eric? He
Yes.
was here with me, yeah, last week. I'm telling you, the coffee has not kicked in yet. He actually got up and was live with me at 5 a.m. his time last week. I was shocked.
I had just woken up like maybe 20 minutes before your live stream started because my Yorkie had to go potty. He's a 14-year-old dog that has developed incontinence. So he's in diapers at nighttime, and then he wakes me up at like 6:30 in the morning to go potty every day of the week. So I got up and I'm like, okay, well, I'll put on Sean's channel and see who's on today. Seeing it was Eric, I'm like, what is he doing awake?
Yeah, I mean, him and I talked, I don't know, a couple of months ago. We'll email back and forth and about a project that I wanted to do with him. And I said, I'd love to have you on a live sometime, but I'm going to have to organize an evening live. And he's like, oh, I don't mind getting up early. And I'm like, you do realize that I go on at 8 a.m. Eastern, right? He's like, yeah, no problem. I was, okay. He's been like on my bucket list to have on the channel anyway. And I thought I'd have to like wait till summertime when I can actually do a evening live. But yeah, he was like, yeah, no problem. We'll work it out. And yeah, he was on it, 4:45 his time. To do sound checks and everything else. So I was amazed.
Oh, wow.
I was so thankful that he was willing to do that. So, all right. So we always love it when we make it through a live stream without having to bring out my very, very bestest friend, Jack, and we haven't even made it in 10 minutes. So
don't feel bad. I almost started today off with Jack.
Oh, well, it is what it is. Okay, so Jean Roher says her son lives in Chesterfield, Virginia. I know exactly where that is. That is not far from me either. It's about an hour and 30 minutes up the road. We'll probably be up that way in a couple of weeks. All right, let's see. Good morning, Chloe. And Dragonflies for Donna is here. She's a good friend of mine. It's always good to see her. And she is asking which animal I am working on because she hopped in a little late. So to answer that question is I decided on the goat. We had a vote on Becca's channel last night just for some fun, and all the answers were very similar, but I ended up choosing the goat for the simple fact that it had less pieces to cut out than any of the others. So I have made a start on it and already goofed it up, but I've put these together beforehand. This will be the main color of the goat right here.
Ooh, that'll look good from a distance because it'll help it look like wool.
Kind of going for it. I wanted to do like a gray goat. I don't really have any textured gray, and I'm really trying to make this a project where I use it entirely from stash. So I didn't want to use a solid gray, which is weird for me because everything I do is solid. But yeah, I found that and I was like, I think it's going to work. And if it doesn't, I use so little of it, I can always redo it as kind of my mentality. But I think it's going to look nice.
Exactly.
Okay, so Jan is here from Western Australia. It's always good to see her, and she is asking, "What are you working on?" We haven't talked about that, and I'm excited for you to tell everybody what you're working on. So
I am
spill the
playing
beans.
I am playing catch up to my vortex. I am currently on month 4 and I just received a month 7 in the mail. Plus I just also signed up for the Iris block of the
Yeah,
month.
that is awesome. I'm loving that. I think it's really good. I decided against doing Vortex, for the mainly because I had enough on my plate. And I figured adding one more thing to it was not going to bode well. And figured I might as well just live vicariously through others there as well. But I'm loving seeing everybody put that together. It's a fun project. I think I might tackle the tumbling blocks, which is their free pattern that they've released at some
Yeah,
point.
Soviet Fallon with Soviet Quilts, she's been playing with that. And I wish I would have did that, but at the same time, I got so many other things going on because I also got a commission quilt I'm working on. So between that and a baby quilt for my upcoming great nephew.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, just
Yeah,
and
sometimes you got to pick and choose what you're able to take on. And so I figured, Vortex sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm just going to have to say no to it. Plus, I still have Toasty, which is the dragon pattern of theirs that I bought back in February. I still have not bought the fabric for it. I've been saying 2024 for that one for several months, and I'm glad I did, because if I said 2023, it wouldn't have happened, because we are running out of time for that. So, all right, Dragonfly Sodonna says the gray looks like the wiry feel of goat hair, and that's what I thought too. I thought it should look good. I mean, you never know how it's going to look until you put it together. But I figured, we'll give it a shot and see what happens there. Rob is asking me, have I decided what colorway for the upcoming Cotton Cuts project I'm thinking of participating this time? I have put my bid in for the one I want. Now, whether I get assigned that one or I get assigned another one, I don't know, because I believe I will be an ambassador for them again, which I'm very, very excited about. The one I'm really looking forward to, I think it's called Juicy, which is really all the really, really bright colors. But as I said, it's totally Cotton Cut's decision on which one they assign to us. We are asked our preferences, and I'll be happy with whichever one they assign to me. But if I get my first choice, it'll be that Juicy one with all the bright colors. The exciting thing I like about this is last time they had, when they did Carnival, they let us all vote for the colorway names. And they did tell us that they're going to do that again this time around. So more details about that will be coming out, they said, hopefully in the next week or so. So keep tuned for that. But yeah, I'm really excited to see which colorway I get assigned. Assuming I'm an ambassador. They asked me if I was interested, and I said absolutely. And we'll just see what happens from there. And then why isn't this fitting? We know.
because you're on camera.
Because you got to turn it that way. Something's still not right. Okay. We will soon find out, won't we? Oh, I think I cut it too big. 1.25 by 2. Okay, we're going to figure this out in just a minute. Oh, okay, that's why. All right, never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sometimes you gotta sit there and read, and then you figure it out. Okay, so
You might need to get a second cup.
I'm already working on the second cup. I wish that was the issue. Okay, so let's go back to the chat and see what I missed. Yeah, Melissa says that the colorways they released are amazing. It is such a good choice of selections. If you type in !PMQ, you can go over and start drooling over the different options they have. The signups will start December 2nd. Sorry, December 1st at 7 a.m. Central, and a lot of them do sell out quickly. So take some time to figure out which one you want and be ready to go at 7 a.m. And I think if you participated in Village Green, Last time they had a pre-sale the day before. I would assume they will do the same thing again this time around, but that is not confirmed. So don't take that as being official. I'm just guesstimating and thinking that they will do that again. I'd be very surprised if they don't. So let's see. All right. My friend Shannon from Slate Arts is here with us. It's always good to see her. If you could hit ! Shannon, you will see her channel as well. She does a podcast on a Thursday morning, similar to myself, and she goes live at, I believe, 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. So she does like a brunch with Shannon, kind of like the Brekkie of the guy who sews, which I think is really, really awesome. All right. Let's see. Fallon says, yeah, they always do amazing colorways. I absolutely agree. It's always hard just to choose one. It's kind of like a bag of chips where it's always hard to pick which one you want. And then Martha's Creative Life is here with us as well. She's a good friend of mine at ! Martha as well. So definitely go check out those channels. And if you have a channel here and we haven't mentioned you, please let us know in the chat and I'll put you in. And then the other thing I was going to ask everybody is if you have a live this weekend, let me know when and where, so that way I can tell everybody to go over and hang out with you, because you can go see my friend Donnell at 11 a.m. Eastern this morning. She's going to be working on some fun.
I'll be making cozies. And this one here is my favorite Snoopy.
Yeah, and I love how you do it with the little hanging thing. I think that's really good. Like I shovel ours in, like we have a drawer, like we put the oven mitts and the bowl cozies. But yeah, and depending on what your situation is, sometimes being able to hang them is really, really neat. I do need to make some more.
You could also use it for decoration too.
And that's very true. I think that's neat. I think I'm going to make some more bowl cozies this season for Christmas gifts for my co-workers, because I did that a few years ago and everybody loved them. So, and it's quick and easy. And it's a great way to use up like spare fat quarters or, spare yardage that you have floating around as well. And it's really the one thing I like about bowl cozies is it's a wonderful way to use up that excess scrap batting that you have laying around.
Oh, it is.
You know, because I'll frankenbatten the heck out of something, to make a bowl cozy, because like those seams in the batting you don't feel in a bowl cozy. So, all right, my friend Jamie is here from the Quilting Compound, and I believe she'll be joining me next week. I'll just need to double check with her just to make sure everything's working out for that still. But I believe she's going to hang out with me next week, and I'm really excited to have her hang out with me as well. So, I think Russ from Quilt Meets World should be live later on this morning as well. He's doing I think he starts at 10. So definitely head over and check out what he's up to. He's always got some fun projects going on. He's a big fan of Tula Pink and that sort of thing there. So if you want bright and bold like I do, he's definitely a good option as well. Fallon, I think, goes live on, is it Wednesday at 8 Eastern?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I'm getting better. Laura Lynn from Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, they go live at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. She's always a hoot. I love seeing her. Sometimes she pops into the chat here, and I always feel like there's a superstar when she pops in. Well, the same thing with Fallon too. Like she was like the first person I ever met, started watching on YouTube. So, and my friend Becca, and yeah, they're all superstars to me. I mean, I'm just like this little fish swimming around the ocean with all the superstars.
I feel all like right.
Yes, Wednesday. Okay. Oh, and yes, how could I forget about my mate Stephen? Yeah, Stephen Walter live Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern as well. So you can go check out Stephen Walter. They're always a hoot. Yes, we do need a spreadsheet of all the lives. I think that might be a good idea. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Becca's live at 8 p.m. on Friday, and then Donna from Handmade by Ying, who usually pops in for a little bit, usually goes lives between 9:30 and 10. Stephanie from Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter is at 7 p.m. on Monday, and then Donna from Handmade by Ying at 8. Let's see, who else am I missing? And then Katie from Greenland Quilter and Martha go live on Wednesday evening. She had to suspend that a little bit because a trampoline came through her sewing room window earlier this week. So
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
that
I
was,
start talking about that, but oh, I cannot even imagine.
I know, right? Yeah, she sent me a message that night when it happened, and I felt terrible. And that was the same night that my internet went out. So, I mean, I couldn't really text or talk or do anything either. So, I mean, I felt bad, but hopefully, apparently it's getting fixed. So, you know, there's that. All right. So, what am I doing here? I'm trying to make a goat and I'm not doing a great job at it. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that, Donna. She says, who has a bird and what kind of bird? So let's talk about the wonderful birds that we have chirping in the background, which I love. I love hearing the birds in the background. So, do you want to tell us a bit more about your birds and that sort of thing there?
Yes, so okay, so they're originally in my room because of the fact that I also had two cats, and this is the only room of the house the cats are not allowed. So my son wanted a bird. My son is 24 years old, my oldest one. He wanted a bird, so I agreed to let him get a bird and keep the bird in here because he wanted just a small little lovebird. So he found someone local that was buying a lovebird. He They went to go look at it and bring it home and everything. Next thing I know, he brought home the lovebird and a budgie. And the budgie was for me. And then my husband wanted a green cheek sun conure. So we went to the pet store to go look at one and fell in love. It was like a 6 or 8 week baby green cheek sun conure that they had just gotten, never been handled or anything. So my husband's been working from scratch, training him, and now he is the loud one that you will always hear on my streams. Lately, he goes, "Hi, baby, love you."
I love it when the birds can talk to you.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, because we always had birds, and I know at one point you were telling us last week you had a sulfur-crested cockatoo, but that thing got a little loud, and they're a native Australian bird, and I know exactly how loud those things. Like my grandmother had one of those, and you could hear it about half a mile down the street on some days.
Yeah, we've had a couple of cockatoos actually, but I have such bad migraines that I couldn't deal with it
You,
because no matter where that bird is, you'll hear it from down the street.
and I totally get that. And if you haven't had a sulfur-crested cockatoo, you probably don't you probably wouldn't get just how loud these things can be. I do need to actually send you a picture. I was looking through some of my old Google photos the other day, Donnell, and I actually found budgerigars, or budgies as we like to call them, are native to Australia. And I was actually looking at some photos the other day, and I might have to post it on Discord as well so everyone else can see. But we had a flood in my hometown back in 2000, and I actually took a photo of these budgies sitting on a fence.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'll send it to you later on, but I'll also post it in Discord so that way if the viewers want to take a quick look at it, they can as well. So I totally forgot that I did. Um, I took the photo and then I was like, oh, I've got to send it to Donnell, and then I got a phone call or email or something. I got distracted. So yeah, remind me about that, and I'll do that. Jan,
Because I never even knew that they were even in a wild anywhere until my husband told me, and then I forgot until we were talking. So
yeah, no, it's really, really neat. And it's like we were always told that they were wild, but I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen them in the wild. But then I was like, oh, when I was going through these photos, I was like, oh, yeah, they are in the wild because I got a photo of them. So, um, Jan is asking us, is there any way that you can turn your camera real quick so we can see the birds? Is that a possibility?
it is.
Or
I just had to take my Surface over there real quick, but
All right. Well, good morning, Donna. It is good to see you. If you haven't seen Donna's channel, definitely head over and check her out. Exclamation point Donna. I think it's Donna. I don't think it's under you. Let me just check that real quick. If not, Donna will definitely be able to put her own link in for me. I
there
just
is
want
my green cheek right here. He's coming up front to say hi. This is Quasar.
to, very
Are you
cute.
gonna dance? Are you gonna dance, big boy? He is a spoiled baby. And then over here, down here, having his breakfast is my budgie, and that is Sky. And then over here, playing peekaboo, is my lovebird, and that's Kiwi.
Oh, very nice. They're all such pretty birds.
They're all spoiled babies. Kiwi is very cage bound. He does not like coming out, but he will come up and to the front of the cage and socialize with you all day long.
That's fun.
He just does not like to be handled.
Yeah, I can understand that. You know, there's people that don't like to be hugged or touched and that too. So I mean, the birds are the same way. Um, all right, before I forget, I wanted to wish a happy birthday to a couple of people this weekend. The first is my friend Tiffany from Tiffany's Quilting. Is it Tiffany's Quilting Live?
Yes. And
Okay.
today is actually her birthday.
Yes, today is her birthday. We were talking about it last night on Becca's Live, but it's Tiffany's birthday. So if you know Tiffany and are able to send her a message or just drop a comment on one of her videos and wish her a happy birthday, I think she would absolutely love that. She sometimes hops into this chat as well. She's out there in, I think, Phoenix, Arizona, so it's still early for her, so she may be sleeping in. But if you are listening at some point today, Tiffany, happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. I hope Scott
Happy
spoils the
birthday!
heck out of you. And then my other friend, who is in the chat, unless she wandered off somewhere, has her birthday tomorrow, and that is none other than Martha from Martha's Creative Life. So happy birthday for tomorrow. Your 29th birthday for the second or third time is tomorrow. So happy birthday, Martha. I hope you have a great day. I believe her daughter is coming to hang out with her for a little bit. So she's going to have some great time hanging out with her family as well. And if you have we need to sit down and kind of make up a spread. Like, whoever's doing the spreadsheet for the lives also needs to help us out with birthday ones as well, because I'm terrible about that. I'd love to wish people happy birthday on the lives, but unless I have a spreadsheet or something, I'm never going to be able to remember them all. So, all right. Good morning, Polly. It is good to see you as well. So, okay. Donna is telling me, and Martha, I figured out the perfect color soul to put with those crumb block items we discussed. Okay, yeah, she had some crumb blocks she was working on and didn't know how to, was trying to figure out a good way to get them all together, and it looks like she's figured that out. So I'm super excited about that, because I know her and I were talking about that a little bit, and she was talking to Martha, and that is excellent news as well. Okay, all right, so yes, even our pets have their own personality. Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, they definitely have their own personalities.
Oh, definitely. I love it. Like for
All
me,
right.
when I pick out an animal, like a new pet and everything, I always like to pick the sassy ones. The ones with like a lot of spunk and a lot of attitude, because they always seem to have like the most personality and the sassiness and everything.
Well, that's why we picked Copper. Like when we our beagle, when we went to the animal shelter, we were looking at the different dogs and that sort of thing there. And Copper, as soon as one of us walked up close, like he was like jumping up and down in the kennel, and we're like, "Yep, we'll take that one," because we thought he was going to be fun. So, yeah, they do absolutely do have the person. And Finley, I mean, that dog has more personality than most animals I know. So, all right.
It's funny, my Yorkie, whenever I got him, I had to pick a litter because I begged my husband for 7 years for a lap dog because we've always had big dogs.
Right.
And so he took me as a surprise over to Pinckney, Michigan to get my Yorkie. And I had to pick up either him or his brother. His brother was very spunky and fun and playful and everything. And then the one I picked, which is my Yorkie, his name is Loki. He came over to me. He was playful, and then he gave me a kiss. He climbed up on me, gave me kisses, and then lay down on my lap and went to sleep. I'm like sold.
Yep, there you go. That's all it takes sometimes. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, Laura Lynn is here in the house with us. We'll just talk about her a little while ago. So good morning. Yeah, we're just telling everybody that, you go live at 1 p.m. So definitely head over and check out Mom and Pop Quilt Shop at 1. They are a lot of fun. Pepsi Girl 1956 is hanging out with us. I believe she's in the UK, if I remember correctly, although I'm probably confusing her with someone else. It's always good to see her as well. All right, so and then we talked about. Oh, excellent. Yeah, that's a super fun pattern because it goes together pretty quickly, right? I mean, not that I've made it, but it
It
looks like
does.
it
It
does.
goes together quickly. It's just the thing of trying to set aside remember to set aside time to do it. Like I can do it in a day with no problem for each month's blocks.
Yeah, no, that's great. Oh, okay. So apparently today, Mom and Pop, you can hop on early. She's going from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. She's got a 6 hour live. So you can go check her out this morning as well. Donnell's also live at 11. So support both of these wonderful young ladies. I think they will, well, I know they're definitely going to appreciate your support. So you've got plenty of quilty live goodness today to choose from. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun there as well. Dragonflies for Donna says happy birthday for all the November babies. So there you go. All right. Did I miss anything in the chat? If you asked a question and I missed it, please ask again. Tag me in it if you can, because that way it comes up in bright orange and I see it a little easier because I feel like sometimes I'm like one of those little dudes like that at the circus you see the man spinning the plates. That's me during a live most days. I don't know about anybody else that does lives, but that's how I feel because
But I just want to say hi to Handmade by Madonna. I seen your message going by and everything. I just didn't get the chance to actually say hi. So I wanted to say hi to you.
yeah, she's a great, great content creator. She does a lot of wonderful content. You definitely need to go check her out.
And
And
a whole lot of spunk.
yes, oh yeah, she's always full of energy. Like, I don't know how she gets everything done with the amount of hours that are only in the day. Like she does like a million different things and still gets everything done. Like the amount of projects she can get done during a week, I'm super jealous of. Like,
Yeah, I'm just like, how? I don't get it.
hey, more power to her. Like I'm super excited and I think it's just really, really neat. So, all right, so let's see. Questions coming in from Dragonflies for Donna, and she's asking, do your budgies talk?
My budgies did not talk. He makes a lot of sounds. And lately biggest thing is he's learned how to imitate my sun conure. So he was
Okay.
screeching and yelling like my sun conure. And if we're in the other room, we cannot tell which one it is.
All righty. So there you go. Okay, so now I've got to find piece Q. Where'd you go off to? Hang on.
But budgies are able to talk though.
Yes, I have heard them talk in the past.
Yeah, I've seen videos where they actually talk. Their language is not as queued up as like a green cheek sun conure or any of the larger parrots, but they are able to talk.
They need. All right, so trying to do one of these complicated patterns on a live. I keep telling myself I shouldn't do this because it's
That's
too
why I love
much.
it with the vortex.
Yeah, see,
I'm
you're a
like,
little
it's too
smarter than
early to think.
you're a little smarter than I am, but I keep doing it. So yeah.
I was like, it's too early to think because I got a custom bag that I'm making for my son. Him and my husband have built like this like machine or a metal shop out in the garage.
Right.
And they call it their sewing room. and and so they bought some welding masks, and his did not come with a mask. So we went to Joanne Fabrics last night and bought the fabric, and I told him I'll make him a mask or make him a bag for it to keep his mask in. And he picked some beautiful fabric. Let me get a piece of it over here, if I can.
All right. Laura Lynn says she grew up with a cockatoo who knew a few bad words. LOL, my mum adopted him. Yeah, I think I came across a couple of those as well. Yeah, sometimes the children used to teach the cockatoo bad words and then
So here's the fabric he chose. Jack
oh, very nice.
Skellington and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, but Jack Skellington is his ultimate favorite.
That's really, really neat. All right. Nancy says her birthday is on the November 21st. So that's just a couple of weeks away. Someone's going to have to remind me of that one. because I will forget between now and then. I walk into a room these days and can't remember why I'm there. The kitchen is usually pretty good because it usually means I need a drink or something to eat. But other than that, yeah, I'm out of luck. So yeah, by the time I hit 75, I'm going to be, yeah, I don't know what my problem's going to be.
Yeah, for me, I walk in the kitchen and I'm like, okay, did I actually need something from here or was I going to the basement? Because the kitchen is the way to the basement.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So we don't have basements here because we're basically like 3 feet above sea level. So yeah, if we had a basement, the only reason you'd have a basement here is if you wanted an underground swimming pool. Um,
Or a tornado shelter. I lived in
yeah,
Tennessee. I know how that works.
yeah. Thankfully, we don't get a lot of those. We're very lucky. We get the occasional one here and there, like an F1, F2, but nothing super serious. And they're pretty sporadic. We don't get a whole lot of them here, thankfully. So, yeah, and for that, I'm thankful. I mean, I'm not a fan of any disaster, but yeah, the tornadoes are probably the ones that would frighten me the most. All
Yeah,
right,
I grew
Teresa.
up in in Tennessee. It's like, and they were like a regular thing.
You know, when I was down in Alabama, they said, like the city had tornado like sirens and stuff. Like I've always heard of those, but I always thought that was just out in the Midwest part of the country. I didn't realize like even down there they had them. So I was like, I loved it down in Alabama while I was there, but I was like, if you have to have tornado sirens in the city, then that might not be the place for me.
Yeah, my brother, well, actually, both my little brothers, they live in Tennessee still. And one of them, the oldest one of the two, he works for a company called TVA, I think it is. And they
Okay.
actually go out and do repairs and clean up and everything after the storms.
Oh wow. Okay. That's a it's a very valuable job. Like yeah, because yeah, they make one heck of a mess from what I understand.
Yeah, there's times where he'll spend like weeks to months at a location.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a tornado on our farm once growing up. But it just kind of passed over and knocked down one of the trees, so we didn't really see it, thankfully. But that's about as close as I've gotten to it. I've seen it. I mean, I've felt a couple of earthquakes. One in New Zealand, and one here actually here in Virginia one time. That was an interesting week because we had the Great Dismal Swamp was on fire, so we had the fire and the smoke. We had the earthquake on the Wednesday, I think it was, and then we had a hurricane come up and visit us that weekend. So like we had like earth, fire, wind, and rain all in one go. So
Oh God.
yeah, and then the funny thing was like we had the hurricane roll by, but it still wasn't enough to put out the swamp fire. So
Yeah, I would have been like, okay, the end of the world's coming.
all right, so I've been here for half an hour and I've made this, which is going to be its nose, I think. Oh, and the eyes are above it. Okay, so look, I'm actually making progress. Look at this.
You're getting there. You got this.
Yay. Go, Sean. Can you also... Yeah, it actually looks pretty. I think it looks pretty good with
Aww,
the
that
fabrics.
is so cute.
Yeah. All right. So now that it's actually coming together, I'm actually happy. I was not sure about it because it's got these straight lines, like the fabric itself has straight lines.
Yeah, but from
I,
a distance, it just looks like texture.
that's kind of what I was hoping for. So, but as I figured, again, it was scrap leftover material from a previous project. I was like, I'm going to throw it together, hope for the best, and if it doesn't work out, I'll just redo it. It's not, it wasn't a huge amount of fabric. So there we go. All right, let's see. Dragonflies Donna says she grew up in Michigan. Recall standing on a pool deck watching tornadoes from when I was little. My wife saw a tornado here one time, and I'm glad it was you and not me. So, all right. So I
Yeah,
did
I'm
have a
actually in
question.
Michigan, and yeah, it can get scary. Thankfully, I've not actually seen any here, right here in like I'm like 2 miles north of Detroit. So thankfully, I haven't really seen any right here, but I got some friends that are like 20, 30 minutes north of me, and they've got them multiple times.
Yeah, sometimes that difference of 20 or 30 minutes is the reason, difference between you getting a bunch of them and you get nothing. So, um, you know, because if you go 20, 30 miles south of me, they get a lot more tornadoes than what we do. We're kind of, I think we're in a very, for whatever reason, we're very protected from a lot of storms and that sort of thing. They tend to go to the south of our house or to the north. It's kind of like we're in like a protected bubble. I don't know why. I'm not complaining though. So there we go. All right. So now I've got to try and find, well, this showed up. So let's just do this part. Oh, there's Q. Okay. Looking for a particular piece and it went walkabout.
Yeah,
And
I
now,
was just over here wandering around trying to figure out where some of my pieces are too.
yeah. And, you know, people come on and watch and they're probably expecting me to be somewhat organized. And if that's what you're here for, I'm sorry, but that usually doesn't happen here. All right. Donna's asking, are you in Hazel Park or Royal Oak area?
I am actually really close to Hazel Park. I'm actually in a place called Roseville, Michigan.
Oh, I know where that is.
Okay, yeah, so I'm in Roseville, Michigan. We are right in between like St. Clair Shores and Warren. And if anybody is in the Michigan area, I'm over at like the 10 Mile and Hayes area.
All right. There you go. Okay, so trying to make sure I do this correctly. Okay, so I had a question for yourself and everybody else. Last week I asked everybody if you went out to if you had try again. If you went out for breakfast or someone was cooking you breakfast, what would you like that meal to be? And I loved hearing all the answers. And a lot of people said one of the things that came up a lot was hash browns. And depending on where you are and your preferences, that can mean one of a million different things. Like a hash brown at McDonald's is that big, long piece of potato fried goodness. If you've never tried it with strawberry jam or jelly, you're missing out. But you can also have it cubed or home style, I think they call it in the South, shredded, those little potato gems or like the little round ones. I can't remember what they're called. So let me know in the chat or if you're watching later on, what your preferred type of hash brown is. What about you? What would your favorite type be? Or if you don't like them, that's okay too.
So I really don't have a favorite type of hash brown.
Okay.
Because I grew up in the South, and then I spent my adult life so far all up here in Michigan, and so I really don't have a preference of how they're made. I just love potatoes of all forms.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
I love my carbs.
Don't we all? If all the carbs disappeared overnight, I'd be a very sad puppy. And if the bacon disappeared, I'd be, yeah.
I would cry my eyes out.
Yeah. If the beef disappeared, I'd be okay. If the chicken disappeared, I would be very, very sad. But yeah, if all the bacon disappeared, yeah, that would not be good. All right. So apparently, Becca's here with us. It's good to see you. It's always good to hang out. It was fun watching her make the pandas last night because that's a project her and I've been working on together. And we do need to figure out when we're going to do our next solo along, so that way I can start making some more progress on that. Because I've kind of held off until we get sewing again, so that way I don't finish too quickly with that. So there you go. Tater tots. I just had a craving and ate a bag in a week. See, a week's good. I mean, if you give me a bag of tater tots, it's probably gone in a day and a half. And then if you tell the boys about it, then yeah, goodbye. Okay, so the answer to Becca's question is no. She asked, is breakfast without bacon even considered breakfast? And I would say absolutely not. But let's talk about bacon for a second, because in America, we have those strips of bacon. And in Australia, we have a different type of bacon. It's more like Canadian bacon. But from what I found out, it's actually from different parts of the pig. So it's fun to know that there's different types of bacon, and that's why it's different. And I like both. Like, I don't know that I have a favorite. I love Australian bacon when I go home, but I do enjoy American bacon too. So there you go. But I think my favorite, I don't know that I have a favorite hash brown, but the ones I probably don't like, don't dislike them, and I'll eat them if that's what's presented to me. But if I have a choice, I'm not a huge fan of the shredded ones. Okay, Kathleen says, I think it was the ketchup I was craving cold on a hot tater tot. Yummy. Oh, that sounds good. Ketchup goes well on everything. So
It's
Janine says she never met a
funny.
potato she didn't like.
It's
Go
funny. My
ahead.
husband and I were just talking last night because we had got fast food last night and everything because we were out doing some shopping. And he comes back. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "Do you want ketchup on your French fries?" I go, "No." I'm like, "I don't really care for ketchup on my French fries much anymore." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "I know you like ketchup on your egg on your scrambled eggs." I'm like, yeah." I'm like, "That's still a thing."
Did you just read my mind? Because I was about to ask you about that.
I love ketchup on my scrambled eggs. If it's plain, ordinary scrambled eggs, yes, ketchup, please.
See, and I think you're probably the first person that I've met in the US that actually likes ketchup on their eggs. It's very, very popular back home. I can't eat eggs without ketchup on it. Um, but yeah, I think you're probably the first one I've met here that most people look at me strange. You know, well, they might be looking at me strange for many reasons, but yeah, especially when I put the ketchup on the eggs, I'm just like, you eat it your way, I eat it mine. Like,
Yeah,
you
I have people get
take your
grossed
judgy
out.
eyes elsewhere.
I can't help it. I like what I like. I can't help it.
Yeah, hey, as long as you're happy, that's all that really matters, you know.
Yeah.
So
Like if you don't like it, don't look at it.
yeah. All right. Shannon says, pretty sure smoked pork of any kind trumps all. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. So let's see. Apparently taking colored dye out of these ketchup. That'll be interesting. But I don't know that it'll make that big a difference. I'm sure over in Europe and those sort of places, they probably banned that a long time ago. And they seem to do all right. So okay, let's see. Janine says she prefers salsa on plain scrambled eggs. That sounds good. Handmade by Ying McDonough says she puts Old Bay on her eggs. That's interesting. I've never tried that. I'll have to give that a shot one day and see how that
What is
works.
that?
Sorry?
What is that? Old Bay.
Old Bay to seasoning. It's usually you put it on like crustaceans like crabs and that sort of thing there. I don't know how to describe Old Bay. Someone will have to do that for me. Dragonfly Sedona says mustard on fries, nothing on eggs, maybe some basil or basil as you call it here in the US. But you know, I like to speak in my native tongue. Um, Teresa says she prefers grits, and we talked about that last week. I am not a fan of grits, but I admire anybody that does because it's very, very popular, especially down in the South. And Teresa is from, I believe, Louisiana, if I remember correctly. Same thing of gravy. I just never got into the well, gravy for me is a different thing altogether. Like I'm used when you say gravy, I think of like the gravy you put on like turkey and that sort of thing there as well.
See, for me, I love when I have gravy, I gotta have sausage gravy.
Gotcha. All right. So since you're not far from the Canadian border, do you put gravy like brown gravy on your fries?
I don't,
You
but I do,
should.
but I do put it on my eggs if I'm not putting ketchup on it.
Okay. If you've never tried brown gravy on your fries, you are missing out. You can thank me for it later. It's very, very popular in Australia, and then there's a lots of part of Canada that do it as well. We actually went up to Prince Edward Island about 12 years ago, went into a restaurant, and I ordered fish and chips, and the waitress asked me if I wanted gravy on my fries, and I almost got up and hugged the poor lady. I was like, absolutely, like, please. I found out later on it was like a $4 charge for it. I didn't care.
Yeah. If it's something is good enough, then who cares?
I didn't care. And apparently, like my reaction was big enough that there was two guys behind me that ordered just before us, and apparently they flagged the waitress down and said, "Hey, can we get gravy on our fries too?"
You
So
started a trend.
I did, yeah, and I think they have it up there because Shannon was just mentioning here that they put like poutine, which is very very popular up in parts of Canada, especially Quebec, I believe, where it's I think they do in Wisconsin and that sort of thing there as well. It's like basically fries, gravy, and cheese curds. They serve it at the state fair in Virginia, thankfully, and that's always my lunch when I go there. I love having poutine whenever I can. So that is awesome. Okay. All right. So Donna dragonflies. I have to specify which Donna it is because we have two of them.
I know it's
She says
confusing.
Old Bay is celery salt, spices, and paprika. Okay.
Oh, okay, that sounds like that would be delicious.
Yeah. So I think they usually use it on like crabs and shrimp and that sort of thing there. So Fallon says she can feel her waist expanding. It's okay. You know, let's
But
just
yeah,
all
I've learned after I think was it last week when you're talking about the breakfast foods. For now on, when I watch your lives or I'm on your lives, stretchy pants.
Mhm. I'm still in my pajama pants. I was like, I could change, but I don't feel like it because you're not going to see my pants anyway. So,
Yeah, I just got some stretchy jogging type pants on. So
well, we're
good.
just practice. We're practicing for Thanksgiving Day because Thanksgiving
Good.
is what 2-3 weeks away in the US. I mean, Canada's already had theirs because they do it back.
TVs.
Okay, well, that means I had to go shopping for my food soon, I guess.
Yes, I've
All
already
right.
people asking for requests for my green bean casserole that I make every year.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so Laura Lynn says she has to run away. It's good to have you hang out with us for a little while. I always love when Laura Lynn hops in. It's always like I said earlier, it's like having a superstar with us. Okay, so I do need to actually keep moving and get some stuff done because I sit here and rattle on too much sometimes. All right, so we have done this. This is going to be like the side of the body. Oops.
Aw, I totally love that fabric choice.
I
It's
always
a
get confused because the camera for my laptop, which is what you're looking at right now, is in the center of the computer, and then on the phone, it's on the left-hand side. So I'm kind of like used to putting it over here, and then sorry if I gave anyone vertigo. It wasn't intentional, I promise.
Oh, that's
Okay.
okay. I'm operating off of one screen and I still can't figure out where the camera
It
is.
took me ages to figure it out. So, all right, let's see. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about you because you're our guest, and I always love hearing more about my new friends. What motivated you to start your channel? Like, did you wake up one morning and go, "Hey, I think I want to be a YouTube superstar," or did you want to share your love of quilting? Like, what's your story behind starting the channel?
For me, it was more of I'm always sitting around listening to everybody else's channels like yours. So Becca, Shabby Quilts, Ian from Off Quilter Crafter, and Donna from Handmade by Ying. So my
Mhm.
main channels I watch.
Right.
And sitting around and then doing and then I'm also part of the VIP members for Sobaka and with Donna with Handmade by Ying. But I was in the middle of a Zoom with Becca and I started thinking, I'm like, it'd be fun to do my own channel. It's like not so much like the tutorials so be too much, but more of just having people to talk to in here whenever I'm sewing. And if anybody wants to know how to do something, I can always show them right there and help people out that it would have been nice for me to have a direct contact sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. Like the whole, interacting with the viewers and the friendships and the social aspect of it was never something that I expected. I kind of started mine because like my wife watches a lot of knitting podcasts. Like every knitter in creation has a knitting podcast, which is totally different to us over here. And those folks were getting stuff done. I was like, well, maybe if I start a channel, maybe I'll get something done. But yeah, the social aspect of this has been absolutely amazing, and I love all the connections that I made through this. So I think it's really neat that was your motivation.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is when I'm on my live stream, I'm always there by myself. So it's like I'm just talking to whoever is chatting in there. And if it starts getting to where it's like crickets, then it's like, okay, run out of things to talk about. Now what?
It's I think it's hard to do it by like, and I don't get enough practice with it, of course, but I think it is difficult to do it by yourself. And I admire everybody that can do it. Like Becca does an amazing job by herself. Shannon does an amazing job. Laura Lynn, like all of you guys do such an amazing job. I'm definitely far more suited to having a friend on because I love interacting with everybody in the chat, but it's also a lot easier for me to focus when I have someone else on with me. Plus, it's always cool to have different folks as well.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Melissa says starting a channel has been on her mind a lot this week. I want to be a Cotton Cuts ambassador when I grow up. That is an amazing goal there, Melissa. If you Fallon's offered her assistant, but yeah, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you or anybody else that wants to start their own channel, has any just wants a little bit of help. Always happy to help out however I can. I mean, I think what you and I spent like an hour together last week getting some stuff set up for you.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to work out the bugs, but hopefully if everything
you'll figure it out. Yeah.
Hopefully if everything works out, then next weekend on my live stream, I'll actually have 2 cameras like you do.
Yeah. And you know, it's one of those things, like I think if you're ever on the fence about starting a channel, do it. Just go have some fun with it. Don't go out and spend a ton of money on it, because you may do it and then decide 3 or 4 weeks later, hey, this isn't for me. Like, this is not for everybody. But if you're on the fence, you know, just go out and get a simple, you know, tripod, or if you're recording on a tablet and it has a stand and you don't even need that.
You'll be surprised what I'm using right now. I have my Surface Pro, which before I was actually using my laptop. And I think it was last weekend, my laptop actually, not the hard drive, but the SSD card took a poop in the middle of my live stream. And so we just got that replaced. But in order to finish my live stream, because I was also in the middle of a giveaway on my channel, so I had grabbed my Surface Pro, got logged back in on that, and now I'm using that. And I actually have a couple of boxes over here underneath my Surface to get it where the camera is at now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need expensive equipment to start off with. You know, you can use a tablet. I mean, I record my podcast and everything else on my cell phone. It's not an expensive cell phone. And, you know, I mean, it's not the highest quality thing on the world, but it does the job and everyone seems happy with it. So, you know, yeah. And if you ever need help, or you have questions, please reach out. I would love to sit there and do a ton of tutorial videos on how to start your own quilting channel. But there are just not enough hours in the day. So I'm thinking at this point, just if you have questions, please reach out. You can find me on Discord, Facebook, send me an email, whoever you want. And yeah, I'm more than happy to help out with, you know, of course I gotta have the time for it, but I mean, I'll work something out for you as well. So Donna says she has to head over to the long arm, but lurking if you need anything. Have a fabulous day and let your light shine bright. Be a blessing, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Donna. It's always good to see you as well.
Have a wonderful day, Donna, and still sending tons of love, hugs, and prayers for the grandbaby.
Yes, absolutely. Fallon said what I was about to say. She said, yeah, have talking points. That helps you out. I always have a list of questions that I use. I don't use, you know, 2/3 of them during the thing, but it's always good to have a list of questions. That's kind of why I wrote down like the tater tots thing. Yeah, have some fun. And Fallon, I love how Fallon does her lives. She does she has like three really cool off the wall questions usually that she talks about during the live. I think that's fantastic. So yeah, have some questions, have some, you know, interactive questions you can ask your audience. I think that's very, very important. Martha says a tripod is important, or something to keep your phone or iPad secure. I don't even have a computer. Yes, I mean, you can start off simply. So, but let's see. Spoiler alert, I still use an iPhone to record and stream. Yeah, so yeah, there's some, yeah, you can go out and buy all these expensive cameras and everything else, but start small, you know, and then if you want to turn this into your full-time gig and that sort of thing there, which, you know, is not easy, you can always upgrade later, but just start off small, get your feet wet. You know, your first few videos are probably not going to be the world's best, but it's like anything else. You've got to start somewhere and you'll get better at practice. I mean, if I go back and watch my old videos, I sometimes cringe. But, you know, I had to learn to get to where I am today. So,
yeah, for me, the biggest thing is talking on a camera, because I'm like camera shy.
Oh, me too. That's why, like, when I did mine, I did my very first podcast, and then one day later, I started Vlogmas. but a pure and simple reason I figured, it's got to give me camera time. Like I might get 6 people watching it, and that's okay. At least this way I can goof up and do all sorts of bad, cringy things. Why no one's watching. So I just finished Vlogtober, which was a lot of fun. And then a lot of folks will be doing Vlogmas in just under a month's time. I will not be. I'm taking Vlogmas off. I figured I just want to hang back and watch all my friends and support them this December rather than trying to do my own Vlogmas. All right. So yeah, I'd love to know in the chat who is going to be participating in Vlogmas and doing Vlogmas posts. I think Shannon is, if I remember correctly, and I think a couple of others are, but I don't know who else is. I don't know if Becca is or Fallon. I think Fallon usually does her unboxing for the Missouri Star Quilt Company, if I remember correctly. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, so that's done.
I normally order the Missouri Star bots for Christmas advent bots, but I did not this year. I'm like, I'm gonna take a year off and just watch.
Yeah, I like just watching Fallon unbox hers because it's not something that I would, if I bought it, I think I'd be disappointed because I don't need a lot of notions and it's not something that interests me. And like I'd rather have something that's full of fabric, but I do enjoy watching Fallon unbox it and seeing what's in the box. It's just that it would not be for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that comes in it, and Jenny does put a lot of hard thought into all the gifts in there. It's just a lot of stuff I don't need anymore as far as motion goes, and I have no room for more fabric. I got my fabric storage areas are like overflowing, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it all in a quick way to get it out the door.
Yeah, I was the same way, and that's like several of my projects recently. I'm like, let's just shop from stash. I'll go to the store and get 1 or 2 things if I can, but this whole project was stash. The pandas that I'm doing of Becca, that's all from stash. And then when I do my produce section, which is another pattern by Elizabeth Hartman in the new year, I really, really want to do that with this stash as well. And I think I can achieve that. You have to get creative sometimes, but I think if you go into it with that mindset, it's doable, especially with these like tiny little pieces. Makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, so I just need to text.
I actually did a class on the VIP Zoom last week and everything with Sobeka. It was a class that one of the other members had taught us. And I actually wound up using up like 4 yards of fabric on this item. And I'm like, yes. And that was just like 4 yards of fabric that I had in my room that I bought because I fell in love with and didn't have any plans for it. And it's been sitting in here for like over a year.
Oh, I've had stuff sitting here for a long, long time. And I'm just glad that we're finally doing something. Okay, so Becca says she's hard pressed to find something to do every day for 24 days. And there's already so many people out there doing the unboxings. But I do Vlogmas, I want it to be unique. And yeah, and that's the challenge with it as well. So, I mean, I've done it where I've just talked about what I did during the day and that sort of thing there. But that can be a little challenging too, because my life is not that exciting. Like I go to work, I come home, I sew a little bit, and then I go to bed. So that gets kind of old after 3 or 4 days. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much about like how I am. I get up, I go to work, I get off work, I come in here, do some sewing for about an hour or 2 in the evenings, and then I have family time, and we go to bed.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Francis says, good morning, Sean and all. Can't sleep, so I thought I could join a lifeline. It's great to see you.
Hello.
Yeah, it's always good to see my friend Francis. Donna is asking me when I'm going to do Toasty. I'll be working up a few large ones. Let's challenge each other to get these done. Yeah, let's talk about that together, Donna. That'd be great. I am looking at 2024 because what I need to do is I need to set aside a morning or an afternoon where I can go to the fabric store and not harass everybody because it's going to take me hours to go get the fabrics I don't have. So I am looking at early 2024. Okay, so what is Toasty? Toasty is a pattern by Legit Kits. It's one I bought back in February. Let's see. I guess you'll only get to see my pajama pants now.
Oh, you know what? I actually have a pair just like that.
Oh, you have Chicago White Sox pajama pants? That's interesting.
But mine are just white and black plaid.
No, okay. Yeah. Actually, these are my White Sox ones, or these just ones that we always get matching pajama pants during each year from Old Navy. Okay, so this is toasty. Oops, we'll get it right here in a minute.
Ooh, it's a dragon.
Yes. So I bought the
Ah,
pattern. I bought the pattern back in February, but I don't want to do red. I want to do purple. So I bought just the pattern, and then I'll go out and get the fabric at some point. And then the reason it's going to take me hours, I think, is oh, that's only part of the list. Let's get the whole list.
because there's like 3,001 fabrics.
No, not quite that many, but you. All right. So this, I mean, this is on the website, so I'm not giving away any secrets.
Yeah.
This is the color list.
My goodness.
So the flames, I want to do the same, but I want to change the dragon himself. So I've got to like, I think I'll just take the color list with me, along with this, and then kind of figure it out. So I want to keep the flames the same, but I'm going to turn all the red parts into purples. So it took me 6 months to figure out.
That would be totally cool.
And I have a lot of purples here in the house, so I'll have to kind of sit down and figure out what I have. And then I know there's a color guide that you can buy from Kona, which I actually have floating over here. And so I can reference this. But if I go to the store and they don't have it, then that's going to be a problem. So we'll just kind of play it. We're just going to go to the store one day, play it by ear, and then the poor sales people that cut the fabric will probably have to cut me like 45 different quarter-yard cuts, and they're probably going to hate me.
Sound like they're going to need extra help that day.
Well, that's why I want to go when it's not super busy. Like I don't want to go on a weekend when there's a million people there. I might go like on a Monday morning or Tuesday morning or something when they're not real busy. So
yeah.
Because when I went and got the stuff for the Wizard of Oz, I went like at 6 p.m. On a weeknight, and like I was the only person in the store, so I didn't feel as bad taking up that time cutting 35 different cups of fabric. All right, so all right, what did I miss? I've had fabric for over 15 years is what Jamie is telling me. All right, so Donna's going to be doing another Bargello in the new year. I've never done one of those, and I will at some point.
I've been wanting to. I just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay, well, apparently she's doing it in early January. So if you need some motivation, or you want to hang out with some mates doing it, get your stuff together. I probably won't participate in that because my early 2024 is kind of already planned out. But at some point, I will do a Bargello, but I just don't know when. There's always more. There's always other nice and shiny things I want to do first.
Yeah.
All right, Melissa says she'd like to do a Bargello with someone. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out on Donna's channel because she's a really good resource for that. She's done it several times. She helps people out with that. And now that she's done it, several times, she really has it down to a T. So
yeah, she's a pro.
yeah, she knows what she's doing on that one. So yeah, she'd be a really good resource for that. And some of the Bargellos I've seen have been absolutely stunning, like the different way people do it. It's just wonderful. So there you go.
I love the ones that had like all that different movement in it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, how?
All right, Flicky Chicky is in the house. Good morning. It's early where you are because I believe you're out in the LA area. She says she has 3 jelly rolls that work together. I should try a Bargello. So yeah, definitely go over to Donna's, !Donna, and subscribe to her. And then that way, when she puts out the information, she'll probably put it out, a little closer to the event. You'll be able to join right on in with her on that. So I think that'll be a lot. Set for January 19th. So yeah, you have now until the end of the holidays to figure out what fabrics you're going to use. Jelly rolls are always good, or if you want to cut it yourself, or yeah, that'd be a lot of fun for you guys to do. And then I'll be living vicariously through you all because I'll have other stuff I'm doing as well. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun if you I think it's always fun to do those sort of projects with friends, and then that way, if you have questions and that sort of thing, you can reach out and help because everyone's in the same way. Okay, so you're already following Donna. That's awesome. Yeah, so she'll keep you all abreast of yeah, all that stuff. But you found that the 19th is the start date on that in January.
Yeah, Donna needs to try and make out like a spreadsheet and put it, or like some type of schedule sheet and put it out on her community page for us all to follow along with her schedule.
Good idea, yeah, because
It's so
she's
busy, I
all
can't keep track. I'm like, ah.
yeah, that might be a good idea if I put on like a website or something, because yeah, she is like a great planner. Like she's planned stuff out 6 months in advance, and I kind of like I'm already planning what I'm doing in January, February, March of next year myself. But I don't publish it too early because sometimes I change my mind, and it might be the same for her. She might, um, plan it this way, and that too. Like you might plan to have something last 4 weeks, but then if your viewers need more time, you can just bump everything back. So if you don't publish a schedule too far, that might be it. Good morning, Amy. It's good to see her. If you haven't seen Amy's channel, definitely go over and check her out as well. She is doing amazingly well. Like she has such a fun channel
Hey,
and
Amy.
that sort of thing. And she was on with me a month or two ago. She's an absolute hoot. You need to go check out Amy's channel as well. So there you go. Kathleen says she started the Bargello by cutting yardage. Oh, well, you can definitely do that as well. But if you want to make it quick and easy, a jelly roll, I think, is the way to go. So, Fallon's asking, is this going to be a king quilt? I'm guessing you're talking about the Bargello.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, because this pattern I'm working on is going to be a baby quilt. So it's definitely not mine.
Yeah, I think she said, I think she's referring to Donna because Donna said that to bring 3 jelly rolls and let's have a blast.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, well that makes more sense then. Okay, because I was like, okay, what am I missing here? Because yeah, if you're looking for a king quilt for this, you'd be waiting a very, very long time because
Yeah, I don't, my back won't tolerate king quilts.
yeah, I prefer to do that. That's a good question. Let's ask everybody. What what size quilt do you prefer to make? Do you like making the big king size quilts? Do you prefer making lap size, baby, doll, wall hanging, that sort of thing there? What about you, Donnell? What
I
sizes?
prefer to make is like a lap size
Mm-hmm.
because back in 2021 I had back surgery. I fell and injured my back, actually fractured a fragment of my vertebrae off that got lodged into the disc when it pinched and everything, and had to have back surgery. And since then, it's still weak muscles. But if the price is good, then I will do up to a queen.
Okay. Yeah, I am definitely I prefer a lap size quilt or smaller just because it takes less time to make. It takes less time to quilt. And then I can move on to the next new and shiny thing that I want to make. Plus, anything bigger than that, I can get through my Bernina. Okay, I can probably do up to a queen as well, or even a king if push comes to shove. But yeah, I prefer the smaller ones. Like this project here that I'm doing, they come in 2 sizes: a baby quilt, which is 38 by 38, which is one of each animal, or I think it was like 72 by 72, where it was 4 of each animal. And I was like, I'm just going to do one, that way I can move on to the next thing. Plus, one of the ladies I work with is expecting a baby in February, and this thing will end, like our collab will end in early January. So I figured I could do it for her, make it, quilt it, finish it up, and then give it to her before she has her baby in February, and hopefully it'll all work out.
Yeah, I actually started a live stream of a baby quilt on my channel a few weeks back. Worked on it more when I got off of the live stream, just to find out that the fabric I was using for the accent fabrics I did not have enough of, and Joanne's no longer carried it, and it was like a Joanne exclusive item, which I had bought like a year before. So then I had to go searching and then try and take the blocks all apart and redo it all.
making good progress on this. Okay, so let's see. All right, so yeah, if you get three, Donna's telling us that if you get three jelly rolls, that gives you a little wiggle room as well. So that's good information to have. But yeah, definitely check out her channel. She'll give you all the information you need for that, and it'll be a lot of fun for you guys to look forward to in January. Okay, so let's see. Fallon says lap size. Kathy says lap size and wall hanging. So yeah, you're definitely in my camp. Flicky Chicky says fulls to queen, usually some throws. Jan says lap. Whatever will fit on my long arm frame, which is 8 foot, is what Jamie's telling us. Flicky says I can stuff an 88 by 88 under my basic Juki. Yeah, the Jukis tend to have a nice big throat space, which is nice.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm working with right now is my Juki. I love my Juki.
Yeah, I think if one of my sewing machines died, Juki would definitely be on my list of ones to get because of that. And my local quilt shop is a Juki dealer too, which makes it even easier. So
you're lucky. I don't have a local Juki dealer. Something goes wrong with mine, I just gotta hope and pray I can fix it.
Yeah, no, we're very lucky that, yeah, I mean, they're still like 45 minutes away, but I mean, that's about as local as I can get. But hopefully nothing will happen to either one of my machines for a very long time. And I really don't want a third machine. And I know some people have, 4, 5, 6, 10 machines, but that's not for me. I think the 2 that I have will be sufficient for now. But we'll come back in 5 years and we'll probably have 7 machines. Who knows? Okay. Jan is asking if anyone has a good pattern for a bed runner. I don't, but maybe someone else. Yeah, someone does and can point her in the right direction. That would be awesome.
Hi, Susan. You're out.
Good morning, Susan. It's good to see you. Fallon probably has a good pattern for a bed run. I mean, she has about everything. So, okay. Fallon says she has to get to work. Have a good day. It was fun chat. It was good having you here. Yeah, and she's probably off to make more of those wonderful goods that we should go check out if you haven't already got them.
Have a wonderful day, Fallon.
It's good to have her with us for a little while. Okay, I've done some throw quilts and they zip done in a few hours. That's what Flicky's telling us. It's always, it's always fun when you can do something nice and quick. I tend to gravitate towards these Elizabeth Hartman and Art. These projects that take 3 hours to cut the fabric for one block. But I do like to have a couple of projects where I can just zip it out in a short amount of time too.
I don't think I've ever cut all my fabrics for a quilt before I started it. I do a lot of like cutting some to get me started and get going, and then I'll come back and cut more.
I do the same thing because especially with this sort of thing, if you and I admire Becca and Mary for doing this, like with the pandas, they cut out all the fabric for all 20 blocks.
I don't have that type of patience and ability to do that all at once.
Me either. I'm more of the minds. Yeah, I want to get started. So I'm like a little kid in a toy store. I just want to rip the bag open and start playing. So, it's
I don't
okay.
Even like looking at instructions. Let me figure this out as I go. If it does not come out as a pattern has it, you know what? It's my take at that point.
Yeah. And really, at the end of the day, yeah, you do you. Like, whatever works best for you is what you should do. Like, just because I do it a certain way or you do it a certain way doesn't mean that everybody has to do it. If you want to cut it all out at once, my hat's off to you. I think it's wonderful. But if you just want to do a bit at a time, that's great too. And I kind of enjoyed doing it a block at a time because in that way, instead of making one big project with this and having to cut out like 500 pieces, I can just make it like 8 little projects.
Oh, definitely.
And I don't have enough labels or storage to store all the pieces for every block at once either. So, okay, Jan says she'll have all Fallon's goodies when I come home. Okay, excellent. That's great. Yeah.
Yay!
I know I should like fill a suitcase up with all this stuff and take down there. But I think customers would probably look at me and go, okay, why are you importing a commercial quantity of these products?
You're gonna exceed the weight limit.
Well, usually like you fill the I don't have that. Well, the nice thing is like when you go, like when I go home to Australia, I usually only take one bag with me of clothes, and because I know when I come home, I'm going to have it full of stuff, like the second bag. So I go down with
Yeah.
one and then come home with. So yeah, I could probably take some stuff with me for like Jan and some other folks if that was a thing. But I don't know when I'm going home yet. So we'll have to see. All right. So Donna says she cuts everything else out first, which I admire her for. I think that's awesome. Flaky Chicky says she pre-washes everything and then cuts everything. Amy says I cut everything at once. Batch tasking helps, but then she says she doesn't do dealers with Hartman. Yeah, it's if it's and that's a good point. Like if it's a project where it's just like it's multiple of the same block, I'm more likely to go ahead and cut more of it. But because these things are so unique, I find it's just easier just for me to do one at a time. So,
I mean, for me, most of the time, like if I'm working on a quilt or something like that, because it's hard for me to like sit too long or stand too long.
yeah.
What I'll do is I'll try to cut until I can't cut anymore, and then I'll sit down and sew until I can't handle sitting any longer, or
Yeah.
until I run out of what I already cut.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Jan says I should just bring hers. Yeah, you and I can talk about that. I mean, I'd be happy to do that for you, and a couple of others if I need to, but I just can't sit there and bring like too many because yeah, you just never know what our friends at AQIS would say if I suddenly had 17 of these things. I think if I had a couple, I could say yeah, they're gifts or they're for a couple of friends of mine. They'd be okay with that. But yeah. All right, so let's see what I've done so far.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, so we've done the bottom half of the goat. It kind of, I don't know if it's just me, but right now it kind of looks like a deer.
It looks like a gray and white guy standing up.
Yeah, that's true too. Could be. Yeah, so that's what we've done so far. We'll come back. I think I'm going to stop sewing for now because we're getting close to the end of our live time, and the next part looks yeah, somewhat it's not complicated, but it's going to require more of my attention than I can currently span. But yeah, come back tomorrow, and I should hopefully have more of this to show you. And then I should hopefully have a decent amount, if not all, of my rabbit from Easter Alice in Wonderland done as well. I've got a little bit done. I'll show you just a little sneak peek of him since we're here. Let's see.
And I got 3 of my blocks done.
Oh, excellent. So you've gotten quite a bit done this morning. That's awesome. So you can sew and chat sometimes. All right. So Melissa said she'll be in Virginia, close to the DC area from the 9th to the 17th of November. That's awesome. I don't know if I'll be up that way because it's like 3 hours from here, but maybe we'll head up there at some point. We'll just have to
Oh, Flicky, I'm so sorry. I hope you get feeling better soon.
yeah, me too. So yeah, she says she can't sew this weekend. Nee disagrees with the machine, and I'm too medicated to successfully hand sew. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see. What else do you have? What do you have going on today? You're going to go live at 11 this morning, Eastern.
Yep, I'm going to go live at 11 Eastern to show how I do my bowl cozies and just do some sewing and chatting for a bit. Then I'll be jumping over to Laura Lynn's live for a bit. And while she's sewing over there, I'll be working on hopefully finishing up the baby quilt so I can start getting that quilted and sent out to my niece.
Oh, excellent. That sounds great. Yeah, I think I'm just going to try and finish up those 2 projects, and then I'll also show off this tomorrow, which you may have seen yesterday, which is
that is so beautiful. I love that color waves.
Yeah, this turned out so beautifully. This is this way. The Lavender Village Green Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts. We did the reveal yesterday. I was
looking at that one.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's purple, which is my wife's favorite color, and I thought she would enjoy it. but she told me she had enough quilts, which I totally get. So what I'm going to do with this one is once I find a nice backing for it and quilt it, I plan on donating it to a local organization. I'd like to donate it to like a women's shelter because I figured, it'd be really nice for someone that's probably had one of the worst times in their life to have something to cuddle up with.
Yeah, something to get some comfort.
Exactly, and that's what I'd like to do with that. So we'll get that done at some point, and we'll see how we go from there. Okay, so Becca's telling me that she ripped the Band-Aid and bought an Art East pattern. He has a little whale block that is part of a bigger quilt. I bought the whale pattern. That is awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing you do that. See, I'm converting her over to the dark side with all these tiny pieces. So I'm so happy to hear that as well. So there you go.
Yeah, I used to pre-wash everything, and now I don't pre-wash anything.
I've never pre-washed anything. I'm just lazy. Again, I'm like that little child. I don't want to sit there and wash it and then have to go iron it. I mean, I've got a steam press that would do it pretty quickly, but yeah, I'd rather just be lazy and just. And I've never had a problem.
Well, my mom taught me how to quilt first when I was like 12 years old, and she always told me, you got to pre-wash, you got to pre-wash, you got to pre-wash. And so in my adult life, I would continue on with that pre-washing. And then after a while, I'm like watching all these YouTubers and no one's pre-washing. I'm like, why am I wasting my time?
Yeah, I think we talked about, was it last week we talked about this? And I think it's probably, and this is just my view, and I could be totally off base. Like I know some people are telling me, like a few of my friends were saying that if you do garment sewing, that you have to pre-wash. And that makes sense because you don't want it to shrink afterwards.
Yeah.
And then I think the manufacturing process these days compared to 20, 30, 40, years ago is so much different. I don't think pre-washing for quilting fabrics is really as needed as it may have been back in the day. But again, I am not an expert. I don't work for a fabric company. I have a very basic knowledge of it, but I'm thinking, the technology we have today, it may not be as needed. They are, Flicky was saying here that she pre-washes because she loves dark colors too much and not risking bleeding. Yeah, that's a good point too. I've never had any issues with bleeding, thankfully, but I'm sure it's out there. I mean, I know with knitting stuff, especially if you buy like indie yarns, those things can bleed terribly. Becca says she's pushing me into solids and little bits. Ian's pushing me into Tula and Brights. It's a whole new world over here. Absolutely. I love that Ian's influencing you that way. And the solids thing. Yeah. Come join Team Solids with me. I think they're wonderful. It's half the price of regular fabric, so your money goes twice as far. And if you do it right, you can get some beautiful quilts out of solids. I mean, go back and check. I think it's like day 17 or 18 of my Vlogmas series. There's a beautiful quilt that was made totally out of solids. And it looks amazing. So there you go. All right. So let's see. Go back. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. All right. I think with that, we'll go ahead and say goodbye in just a few moments. But do you have anything coming up that you want to tell our viewers about? Like you're live in a couple of hours?
Well, anybody that might have missed it already and everything, I'll be showing how I make my hanging full cozies. And other than that, just going to be sewing and chatting. And then if anybody wants to follow me, you can also follow me at Donnell Stitchery, Donnell Stitchery on Facebook, and I also have an Etsy store where pretty much everything I make I sell on there.
Excellent, that's awesome. So I just put I put Donnell's link in the chat. So that way, if you haven't had a chance to go over and check out her channel, please do so. And if you like the content, please hit the like button. It always helps us out immensely. Leave a comment. We always love hearing comments from our viewers. And if you like the content, consider hitting the subscribe button because it helps her out immensely. When we started off today, we were at, I think she was at 114 subscribers. And if we can get her a little higher, that would be great. Let's see where we're currently at because now I'm curious.
And every 100 I hit, I'm doing a giveaway on my channel of something I make.
So there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. All right. So yes, apparently Becca's going down the rabbit hole with us with the solids and the little pieces and everything else. And you just can't, I can't explain how happy I am to hear that. So there you go. All right. So I'll be back tomorrow. See, my schedule's changed so much because I was doing Vlogtober last month where I was doing stuff every day. And now I don't know what to do with all this spare time I have. I'll be back tomorrow morning with my podcast, and I hope to be able to, I'll show off the lavender quills in more detail tomorrow. And also whatever else I get up to, I hope to get out the time lapse for the lavender. I actually took a time lapse of me putting that together, like I do for each clue. That should hopefully go out in the next week or two. And yeah, we'll have some other fun stuff throughout the week as well. So definitely come back and check out that. If you're watching the replay, leave us a comment. Let us know what you're watching, and let us know what sort of hash browns you enjoy and what you're working on this weekend as well. I always love hearing from you guys. Good night to Jan and everybody else, or good morning to everybody else. I hope you all have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all on the next video. Do you have anything last minute that I missed before we disappear?
I actually just got a couple of new subscribers, so I'd like to say thank you to Judy Smith and to Nancy Gus.
All right, excellent. Yeah, they're both lovely ladies. So, all right, with that, we will disappear. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all on the next video. Happy sewing. Bye.